Should Terence Crawford return? A lot of talks about Bud coming back, fighting Jaron Ennis. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't think he should return. I think he should just sit back, retired, and just enjoy himself. But there's a whole lot of talk out here about Terence Crawford coming back.
What would I get out of fighting Boots? He ain't no champion. Oh, you beat the young lion.
Like he just talking. He doing what retired people do.
You gonna get Bud out of retirement?
Terence,
Bud, Crawford. Easy work.
And it's the reason why
Hear the shit.
with the other wings. Nigga, say my name. Nigga, say I knocked Terence Crawford out, nigga.
I feel like I punch harder. I'm way sharper. See, I'm way faster. I'm 10 steps ahead of him. I'm 10 steps ahead of him in smarts. That's where he'd get in trouble with.
Now that's the promo being pushed around by some creators. Crawford and Boots, they're trying to hype it up, trying to build the fight. But I'm gonna tell you, in my opinion, there's no unfinished business. There's no business there. There's no reason for Crawford to come back and fight Jaron Ennis. Is there some history? Is it interesting? Look, man, it's kind of hard to say, right? Because I don't really think so. But I do know at 147, Crawford became undisputed. He beat Spence. He's supposed to fight Jaron Ennis. He didn't take the mandatory. Ended up, Ennis was elevated IBF champion. Okay. But there's a whole lot behind all that, and I'm not here to break all that down. I'll just tell you, it creates a bit of a legitimate storyline. The old generation versus the fighter who was supposed to inherit the throne. And that's much more compelling than Crawford coming back to fight an ordinary contender. Now, Jaron Ennis, he's a champion. You know what I'm saying? Jaron Ennis has his shit together. He's looking really good now. And people do feel that he is the next guy to go on and become the pound-for-pound great and become the face of boxing. So he's the perfect measuring stick. Crawford's already done everything anyone could imagine and more. Undefeated. I think he's ended up with 42 wins. He clipped Canelo, which a lot of people thought he wouldn't win, and he did. So Crawford doesn't need another belt. I don't even think he needs a legacy fight. But if he comes back, that's what it will be, a legacy fight against Jaron Ennis. And if Crawford beats Boots at this stage of his career, the conversation becomes at 38 or 39, however old he is now. He came out of retirement and defeated one of the best young fighters in boxing. Now that would be extraordinary, but again, I'm gonna tell you, I don't think it's necessary. So here's the danger: Crawford could actually lose. He could lose. To me, once you've already accepted retirement, you should be done. You know, it comes to a point where you just don't want to do it anymore, and that's what makes the fight so fascinating. Because Ennis isn't just a young prospect; the dude is a champion. You know what I mean? He's elite. And while Crawford was thinking about retirement, Boots was developing, and now Boots, he's here. He has arrived. And I just think Ennis represents the kind of fighter that Crawford would normally want to fight when he's at his physical peak, not now to return from retirement. It just doesn't make sense. And it creates a bit of a stylistic problem when you think about Jaron Ennis and Crawford, both of them being intelligent, switch hitters. They both can counter. They're both aggressive, comfortable making adjustments. They both have power, young versus old. And chins, both of them have chins, but they're questionable. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who has the better chin. But what I can tell you is it's one of boxing's greatest technicians versus one of the most talented technicians of the next generation. So Crawford's biggest advantage will be his experience and ability to read opponents. Ennis, his advantage would be youth, physical freshness, and the fact that he will be fighting someone who's considerably older. You know what I'm saying? But people understand what Crawford brings to the table. So if Boots beats Crawford, I think Boots would get credit. But if Crawford beat Boots, he would definitely get credit, 100%. But the age question is always going to come up. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell Crawford just don't come back. He's focused on his family. He's not getting any younger. And he even talked about his age being one of the major reasons for retiring. You know, boxing doesn't care about your resume. Doesn't care that you were once the pound for pound best fighter in the world. You know, the man's he's 38, I think going on 39. How much speed remains? You know, how quickly does he recover? Can he still handle the physical pressure, the championship intensity for 12 rounds? You know, I don't know. But one thing I do know is if Ennis recognizes a little bit of weakness in Crawford, he's going to push for a war, a 12-round war. He's going to push for it. You know what I'm saying? But I just know the money would have to be right. Maybe $1 billion. I don't think $100 million would make Crawford get back in the ring. I don't even think $200 million. I think Crawford would need the kind of money to where he'd be like, okay, where with losing that O on his record. That O means everything. That's like the badge of honor for a lot of these fighters. If you can retire undefeated, that's everything. So would this fight materially improve Crawford's legacy in his bank account? I say no. Just stay retired. Now for Jaron Ennis, I mean, he needs it. He gets a name like Crawford on his resume, and Jaron Ennis is up and away. You know, he's not just fighting a talented contender or a talented champion, you know. He's talking about a future Hall of Famer who retired undefeated, who many people feel, you know, that is the most accomplished and best fighter to ever put on a pair of gloves. That's what some people say. Not everybody agrees, but there are some that believe that. Anyway, my biggest concern for Terence Crawford is this is some real competitive tension. But if he returns, I don't know if he should go straight into a fight with Ennis immediately. You know, Earl Spence, Crawford are not the same, but I think there's some lessons to be learned from Earl Spence coming back and going right into the Tim Tszyu fight. You know, Tim Tszyu's elite. So to think Crawford to come back and go in there with a guy like Ennis, who's better than Tim Tszyu, he just got to be careful. You know, but if he would come back, which I don't want him to, maybe he takes 1 or 2 tune-ups. You know, and it's not because Crawford isn't great and I don't think he can get in there and compete. It's just, I'm telling you, once you retire, you mentally check out, it's hard to check back in. Hard to check back in. So even a great fighter needs to determine whether his timing, reflexes, conditioning, and body are still ready for elite competition. Then if you look sharp, you got Crawford versus Ennis. But if Crawford says, I'm ready, I don't need a tune-up, then I'd understand the argument is going directly into something different. You know what I'm saying? Crawford retired after beating Canelo. So he could return for one final challenge against Ennis, one of the young fighters who represents the future of boxing. If he wins, he walks away. If he loses, he still retires with an extraordinary resume. I don't know. But I just think he should just leave it alone. The historic fight, he had it with Canelo. If he does return, it's more of a historic fight for Ennis, especially if Ennis beats Crawford. I think it takes away from what Crawford's accomplished. And it takes Ennis, and I think it kind of, you know, lifts him above Crawford. Just one fight. You know what I'm saying? And Ennis is now overshadowed what Crawford's accomplished. So Crawford should just leave what he has in place. It's picture perfect. Leave it that way. As far as passing the torch, hey, pass advice, impart wisdom. Don't go out there, man, and take what was a fascinating career and have it go up in flames because your pride got to you, or the social media got to you, or the fans got to you. Nah. Don't return specifically to fight Ennis. Just leave the situation alone. You have nothing to prove. You're 38 going on 39. You've done the business. You've earned the right to do what the hell you want. And the one thing that I think you should not do is come back. Let these guys figure it out. You know, I'm in the breeze.